Now, before I get on with the conversion itself, I want to quickly go over the similarities and differences between the decimal and the hex system. Now, the decimal system, as we all know, is a base 10 system, and the hex system is actually a base 16 system. Now, the numbers in the decimal system is something we're quite familiar with. It counts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, on and on and on. But the hex system is actually a base 16 system. Now, this is where the difference comes in. Now, we're going to count just the way we count in the decimal system for the numbers 0 through 9, but for the numbers 10 through 15, it is actually going to be denoted by the letters. 10 corresponds over to A, 11 corresponds to B, 12 corresponds to C, 13 to D, 14 to E, 15 to F. So this is really the big difference between the decimal and the hex system. Now, for example, why don't we take the number 590? Now, before I get into the conversion itself, there's actually two principles you want to keep in mind. The first principle is that we're going to keep dividing by 16 until we get to the quotient of 0. The second thing we want to keep track of is the remainders and the orders that they come in. Alright, why don't we get on with the process now? We're going to be dividing 590 into 16. Now, the first number is going to be 3 because 48 is the closest we can get to 59. Now, this gives us a remainder of 110, and 110 is the closest to 16 if we do times 6. So that is going to come out to 98, and the remainder is going to be 14. This is going to be called R1 because we're trying to keep track of that order. Now, 36 is still going to be not 0, so we can continue dividing. That is going to be 2 because 32 is the closest we can really get to 36. Now, our remainder is going to be 4, and let's call that remainder number 2. Now, this quotient of 2 is a very small number, but it's still not 0, so we're going to continue dividing. And when we do 16 to 2, we're actually going to get that final quotient of 0, which is really when we stop. Now, we got to still carry this out and do this out, so we're going to put that 0 down, and our final remainder is going to be 2. Let's call this R number 3. Now, the way that we actually write our hexadecimal is going to be going backwards in our remainder values. So we're going to write from the last remainder value, which is R number 3, and then our second last, and then our first remainder value in that order. Now, 2, which is going to be that last remainder we're starting with, if we actually convert to the hex system, it is still going to stay as 2. So we can start with 2 as our first number. Now, our second number is going to be 4. 4 is once again exactly corresponding to 4 in the hex system, so we're just going to write 4. But 14 is going to be written as E because 14 corresponds to E in the hex system, so that is actually going to be our final value. So 24E is the value for 590 in the hex system.